Okay, I'm recording. Hi, Frank here. Just another update. So I've been very inactive in general since the start of the year because I had this really bad emotional crash. It's a lot of things, and a lot of it's kind of hard to talk about because it's kind of hard to explain how I feel, uh, especially right now. Best way to say how I feel right now. I think the camera's crooked, but anyway, um, best way to explain how I feel right now is kind of numb, honestly. And I wanted to take at least this advantage of feeling kind of numb to try to kind of rethink how I'm kind of like going to approach life. So I don't want to dwell on like the negative aspects right now. Um, Trust me, I have thought about a lot of it. I've talked about it to some people. And so for this video, I just want to talk about what I'm planning to do to try to change my life for the better. So I have set up in my life right now the idea of having realistic goals and unrealistic goals. With the idea is that I have the unrealistic goals to get me hyped up, but I'm fully expecting to not reach them. But I need something to like the idea of working towards something bigger to hype myself up. Then I'll have a realistic goal that is achievable and better. So, my unrealistic goal for this year, at the end of the year, in terms of like monetary stuff, because I'm not in the best financial position, because I still rely on my parents to have a roof over my head and food on the table. And I want to eventually, as soon as possible, move out. Even if it's not necessarily the most financially smart decision, uh, it'll be much more for my mental health for lots of reasons. But the unrealistic goal for this year, I'm not even gonna have an unrealistic goal to move out by the end of the year. That's straight up not gonna happen, or is not. It's so impossible in my mind that I'm not even gonna set it as an unrealistic goal. So instead, I'm gonna set it to be a savings goal, where by the end of the year, when it turns 2022, unrealistically, I want to have $10,000 in my savings account. Not, I didn't even make 10 grand last year in terms of how little money I make. I probably made like uh, less than 7K last year. So even if I theoretically saved everything I had, I wouldn't be able to even reach that goal last year. So that's why it's unrealistic. That's why I'm not expecting it to ever happen. But it's something that's going to hype myself up so I can have more of a reason to go and try to find more ways to earn money in ways that aren't disheartening to me, that aren't problematic for my emotions, my mental state, and something hopefully sustainable. Because you would need a sustainable income to earn that much. My realistic goal is to simply only have $1,000 in my savings account. That's something I could probably achieve within just a few months of just saving. And last year I wasn't the best about spending my money wisely. I'll be fully admitting to that. I was not very wise about my money last year. So I want to make sure that I am that more realistic goal is supposed to more give me a reason to save money more often, and the more unrealistic goal is also even more incentive to not fruitlessly spend my money. So another goal in my this year, as part of the more realistic goals, is to spend money, if I do spend money, on more quality of life things. things that are more so to make my life better. I started doing that at the end of last year, where I bought, you know, some shelves I've been needing. I bought an electric toothbrush to help keep my teeth cleaner, uh, stuff like that. And instead of just, always just spending on random stuff that would entertain me, like random art supplies I'm not going to use professionally at all, or video games and stuff like that. Only things that not only just only things I still want to, buy new games and stuff like that, new art supplies. But I'm going to try to keep it to stuff that is like I really want to play this, or this will help my quality of life in general, rather than just spending money when I'm sad and need something to distract me, because a lot of times it doesn't really work. So yeah, so that's like the one unrealistic goal and two more realistic goals to have: more quality of life stuff, uh, saving at least $1,000 in my savings by the end of the year. Not just reach it during this year, but to keep it at the end of the year. And unrealistically, not going to happen, 10K at the end of the year. Uh, and I have a slightly longer unrealistic goal where in 2 years I would move out. That's my second unrealistic goal. So by the end of 2022, that's my unrealistic goal. My realistic goal is to eventually move out by the end of either 2023 or 2024. Um, I'm not sure how possible that would be. That's more of a let's see what happens kind of goal, less so realistic, more just so trying to make sure that um, I have something that is more realistic, but to look forward to and stuff like that. Um, Another realistic goal is by the end of 2022, I want to like upgrade my computer to make it more video creation oriented, to try to do more YouTube stuff. I have no expectations of making money off of YouTube. I just want to be able to have something that I can creatively do. That is also something I've been wanting to do a lot, and it for something to help promote other stuff that I would do that would make money. And even if I don't end up making stuff that ends up promoting what I do to make money, I could use it just to as a way to stay creatively engaged and still have uh, something to do that's still fun that I still would like to do, and things like that. My realistic goal for this year is to continue something I was doing towards the end of last year, which was a storyboard a day, where I do at least one page of storyboards. And I am now kind of like modifying it to make it even easier, where is if I at least work on it, even if it's just one panel or just a single line that was placed on the storyboard itself, that would be okay. Because that's partially one of the reasons why I emotionally crashed really hard, was because that's all I like towards the end of being consistent with that. I was having a lot of trouble staying motivated with it, like because I would have like some days where I would work on like 5 to 10 pages and get them all done really well, and I was really happy with them. But because of that, I unintentionally set the bars in my head too high, even though my only requirement was still just one storyboard a day. That's it. But my brain kept like, oh, you do a lot more. You can be a lot more motivated and stuff like that, and that was very bad for me. I'm probably one of the most toxic people to myself when it comes to knowing what I can do and what I can't do. because I know I can potentially, like, there was one time where I worked on like a thing with 30 pages, like all one day. All one day I got 30 pages done. And I can't expect it of that myself. Even though I know I can do it sometime, I can't do it all the time, sort of thing. And it's frustrating because storyboards are like the easy art part. Like you're just figuring out the story. And end up getting too focused on the art, and I'm not focusing enough on composition or the dialogue or just getting it done. Like I know like you have to like part of being a professional is getting stuff done. Getting stuff done at a decent quality is more important than never getting it done and it just effectively getting canceled. So so it ends up just being like I'm too toxic to myself. I need to focus on getting stuff done first. Then I can focus about like making my magnus opus later, even though I never intended for any of my most recent projects in the last 5 years to ever be super high quality. I just wanted to like, hey, this is interesting. I think I can make something kind of fun out of this, and this is a story I would like to see. And then I get too invested in it, and then I try to like make it too perfect and too good. But I just need to get it done. Um, so yeah, uh, probably like another realistic goal of mine is to by the end of this year, I want to have uh, at least maybe the first three chapters of, or just three chapters of anything. It could be the three first uh, three of first chapters of different stories. Like I'm not gonna behold myself to just working on one story. Mainly because I don't want to uh, kill kill motivation by forcing myself onto stuff because I get hyper fixated on certain things, and then once that hyper fixation goes away, I it's hard for me to stay focused on that. So I'm gonna at least try to keep it like to like a few projects that I know that I want to work on throughout the year. Uh, so one I'm working on right now is a newer one that is like essentially like I guess you can say it's like my own Bakuman, which is like a story about a pair of friends who go and try to make a manga. Uh, but one of the differences is that like they end up breaking apart early on and doing their own things, and they end up being more rivals to each other. And it's a story where I want the characters to learn about healthy work relationships, not just with other people, but themselves, and things like that, and how to avoid toxic mentalities and things. Uh, Even though I consciously like I know this, I know all of this, I know how to have a healthy workflow, I know what to do, I know how to do it. Everything is up here, but my subconscious, the back of my head, has not learned it, and it has not fully taken it in. It's like it's like a it's like in its box that has yet to take out and assemble the lesson itself and implement it properly in the mind space. So I want to use that project as a way to not just show other people that hey, you need to make sure you have a healthy workflow. You don't just need to have like talent or knowledge about stuff. You need to be able to like work with yourself, which is very important. And I want that to be taught to me as well. I want to like teach myself that more fully. Then I got two other projects that I can work on. One I'm going to focus a little bit more on quality, but I'm not. That one's probably not going to come out this year at all. I can't even imagine the first chapter being it. So maybe like that's an unrealistic goal is the first chapter of Dark Knight, and Infinite Climax plus Alpha, uh, IC plus A. Uh, would be probably the one I will co-release with the project I'm currently working on, which is called My Mangaka Journey. And then I have like another one that I'm very interested in, called Excalibur. Kind of like taking stuff like Arthurian legends and other fantasy stuff. It's probably like my most traditionally high fantasy story that I have. And then there's the World Saga House of Robins, which is like a very long term story, and that probably is the one I have the most complete storyboards of, which I'm going to also work on that whenever it like interests me. But that one is very far away. If if I can't see Dark Knight coming out this year, I also cannot see House of Robins coming out this year or even the next. That one, what I'm gonna do with House of Robins is that I want to have the first 10 chapters storyboarded before I start going in on pages. That one is like I believe I mentioned it before. Is like a story I had since I was a child and changed a whole hell of a lot. And I want to do a lot of pre-production stuff for it. Like there's a lot of things like I kind of realized recently that a lot of the lore I have the world is outdated compared to where I'm heading the story. So I gotta figure a lot of that, refigure out a lot of stuff out, how to reincorporate a lot of old ideas, which I know can work in the new version of the story. But in terms of where I have it right now with the current storyboards, I need to fully rework it to make it work within the setting and have it all make sense and stuff like that. Plus, I want to do a little bit of research on economics, since that's a big part of the story. So there's that. So yeah, so my manga journey and IC plus A, I want at least one of or at least some version of those stories to come out this year. That's my realistic goal. Probably just only the first chapter. If things go really smoothly, I can potentially have them like at least one of them done by like end of next month or something. But knowing me, it's probably going to be the end of the year. There's a good chance that COVID would go away before I even get done with anything. Uh, so yeah. Uh, I also want to like do more videos. I'm gonna put that as an unrealistic goal. This year. Unrealistically, new videos are like drawing videos, tutorials. I always wanted to do the whole like reviewing manga drawing sets and stuff like that. That's gonna be an unrealistic goal. Unrealistic goal is to be consistent with those. That's an unrealistic goal. My actual goal with those videos is to have at least the first video in the first one that I'm at least like not hating when I'm uploading it. I can hate it later. I'll hate it later. But the first one I'm not hating while making it or when I'm uploading it. Manga drawing kit set review in a way that I think is a style that is sustainable for me at some point. So that's also another goal this year. That's the realistic goal. The unrealistic goal is to be consistent in general, to have like a few. I'm going to at least attempt to make a video once a month, but I'm not going to hold to myself to release or even finish those videos once a month. Yeah. Because even recording this is like the fourth take I've tried to do within the past weeks to make this kind of video. A lot of the previous takes were more so me focusing a lot on the bad. And I want to focus on what comes next, sort of thing. That's what I wanted to do. Uh, yeah. I'm just trying to think what else, what I want. I'm not gonna edit this video. I'm just gonna upload it raw to YouTube, uh, and stuff like that. And that's how most of these vlogs are gonna go. There's not gonna be fun editing or stuff like that, or music in the background. Uh, yeah, just like 20 to 30 minutes of me just talking. One of the things I also want to do as another unrealistic goal uh, is to do game streams because the reason why that's unrealistic is because I'm not sure how much fun I will have with it. I think the first game I will probably end up streaming. I'm trying to think. Probably like I'm thinking like Persona 5 Royale, like to do another stream series of that. Um, Another one I was thinking of is Dishonored 2. I really like that game. Maybe Death to the Outsider. After I'm done with my current playthrough with it, uh, which I might just jump in to just continuing that playthrough after I'm done recording this video, because I did my one storyboard today, um, and see how I feel about it later, and see if I want to continue working on it. Um, Realistic goal. Here's not a realistic goal. I want to make my workspace, part of my room, as efficient for me as possible. I want to, because I hate having to do setup a lot. Even just moving around my tablet a lot bothers me. That annoys me. I'm very annoyed by it. So if I ever do move out, I want my room to be a prototype to what I eventually want my new like workspace to be. Uh, so I'm thinking about a lot about what I want in my workspace, how I want things to be set up, and one of the things that is going to be very important for me is that I want my digital drawing setup and my traditional drawing setup to always be ready. I don't want to have to set up my big drafting board. I don't want to have to move my tablet around. I want a spare keyboard, mechanical or otherwise, or probably just a memory keyboard. Probably my old Logitech keyboard that I still have. I want that just to always be set up with my digital drawing tablet. I don't have to move anything around. I don't have to reset anything up. I don't have to, because even with my current setup, where it's fairly easy to type right now, but if I were want to game or do anything that is like very heavy computer worky, um, I have to shift my tablet around so my arms have enough space. But I need to move it back if I were to ever want to draw with it again. Um, and it's just a simple little shift, but since the cables get snagged, I have to make sure my hands on them as I like tug them around, make sure nothing gets pulled on too hard and stuff like that. Um, I also want a space for recording traditional drawing easily. I want that to be a like not necessarily in this room. In this room, I'm totally willing to do the setup for it, but in a if I ever were to get my own like apartment, or if I for some reason I'm able to afford a house, which is impossible. Impossible goal. Buy a house at full tomorrow. Um, but if like essentially in my own workspace, I want like a separate drafting table or flat table, just to be like fully ready, just to record anytime, anywhere. Or not anywhere, just in that one space, separate from my main personal drawing spaces, so I don't feel the pressure to like, oh, I should record this, but or something like that, and just always have camera gear, or more specifically, just a webcam hooked up kind of jankily to my drawing setup, and like I don't want to worry about that. So, yeah, um, yeah. So I'm paying a lot of attention to that. So I'm getting it pretty close when it comes to like my drawing tablet, because I recently reorganized my entire desk. Like my computer used to be here, my console gaming was here. That used to be an attempt to have like a dedicated drawing area, and here was my tablet originally. So now I rearranged it to be tablet, traditional drawing, computer, gaming off to the side. Just keep that completely separate off this desk. And that's been working out for me a lot better, because even if I, let's say, want to switch from digital to traditional, I got my old tablet stand that I can use for putting my sketchbook on, or some piece of cardboard for paper, stuff like that, to do some smaller traditional drawing and stuff like that. Or I can just draw on the flat desk. And yeah, I still have to move my tablet if I want to use the big drafting tabletop thing. But yeah, that's all like it's just overall way more efficient than what I had before. Especially with how like old this desk is. See, it's a little bit bowing. It's a little bit bowing, but it's good enough for just putting consoles on and stuff like that, and just open it up for like art supplies. So yeah. No, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I really want to say right now. So yeah, that's my log. I'm gonna have to take things a lot slower than I want to, just for my health, to not be toxic to myself. And yeah, hopefully I can achieve all my goals, save my money, spend it more wisely, be healthier to myself, have healthier workflows, and things like that. Um, so yeah, that's it for this vlog update, and I hope you're interested to see what I do, see what I don't do, and yeah. Um, so yeah, see you later.